Florida's Fighting Gators, whose ranks were greatly thinned of personnel following their greatest year in history in 1960, still thrill their fans to many moments of brilliance in 1961. These scenes show some of the great plays, both for the Gators themselves and by their opponents during the 61 season. And now, here come the Fighting Gators. Gators opened the 1961 season at Florida Field against Clemson, a strong representative of the Atlantic Coast Conference, by downing the Tigers 21-17 in a real thriller. Clemson had gotten away to a 3-0 lead in the first quarter, but the Gators and Fatty returned the kickoff to the 33, and 9 plays later put their first 6-pointer on the scoreboard. Fabulous Larry Libator, the 138-pound giant, found Infante in the open, and Infante goes to the Clemson 20 on a brilliant 34-yard gain. It's a Libator to Infante combination once again, and the Gators have their first touchdown of the 1961 season. Late in the second quarter, Tom Kelly of Birmingham dives on a Clemson fumble, and the Gators have the ball on the Clemson 38-yard line. Now Infante makes a diving try for his second TD of the day, only to fall short by 18 inches. Quarterback Libator calls on roommate Infante again, and Lindy gets his second score, and the Gators lead 14-3 at halftime. From all over the state, high school bandsmen gathered for Band Day in Gatorland. Clemson isn't out of it yet, and lets 40,000 fans know it early in the third quarter. Quarterback Joe Anderson connecting with Harry Pavelak on a 21-yard pass play. Now Anderson calls on fullback Ron Scudato, and he scores from the 10. Successful conversion makes 10 for Clemson and 14 for Florida. But this was to be the Gators' day. And here's the big play that led to Florida's third touchdown. A Libator to Bob Hoover pass that netted 43 yards to the Clemson 1. Infante later scored his 18th point from the 1-yard line. Clemson continued to give it all they had, and Anderson completes another big pass to Wendell Black. This one good for 23 yards to the Florida 22. It was Black who also drew the scoring honor from the Florida 3-yard line. With Florida leading 21-17, Libator heads around right in for 12 yards as the clock begins to run out. Again, on an end run, Larry Libator keeps for 10 yards to the Clemson 27, and the Gators win it 21-17. The Florida-Florida State rivalry is a recent one, but one that is bitterly contested nonetheless. And this year's ball game ended in a 3-3 tie. The tie was hailed as a moral victory for FSU, who is yet to win a football victory over the Gators. Following a blocked Florida punt, FSU's Kinderman is thrown for a 2-yard loss by hard-hitting Sam Holland. On 4th down and 6 at the Florida 13, John Harley makes good on a 29-yard field goal, and the Seminoles lead 3-0. Now in the second quarter, Larry Libator finds halfback Bob Hoover for a 9-yard gain. Here's little Larry Libator in a real fancy gainer that displays his elusive running ability. Good blocks by Goodman and Ensminger. Quarterback Bobby Dodd makes a good fake to Bruce Starling, then finds Fleet Paul White on the receiving end as White gains 34 yards to the FSU 9. It's field goal time again, and this time the Gators' Billy Cash makes good on a 28-yard three-pointer, and the day's scoring is over. There's plenty of action left, however. Here, Libator fakes to the fullback Goodman, is almost stopped, then performs the option play to perfection as he pitches out to Infante for a gain of 11. Libator pitching out again to Infante. This time Lindy races for 18 yards. Here's beautiful footwork by Florida's Don Ringgold, who punts out of bounds on the FSU 3-yard line, as the issue remains unsettled with a 3-3 tie. Florida opened its Southeastern Conference competition against Tulane in the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. And for the third straight Saturday, the Gators are behind in the first period by a field goal. This time, Charles Connell makes good from 30 yards away. Trailing by 3-0 in the third quarter, the Gators are now on the move. Lindy Infante taking a quick pitch out from Bobby Dodd. Infante gets a good block from tackle Fred Pearson and gains 11 yards. Dodd's the quarterback, and he hits Hoover on the swing pass for a gain of 9 down to the Tulane 35. Bobby Dodd lets sail to Russ Brown's superlative sophomore end, and Brown tiptoes down the sideline, falling out on the Tulane 2. Boy, Mr. Brown wanted that touchdown. Dodd calls for quiet, and then a high-diving, somersaulting Lindy Infante gains a big yard to the 1. And now Dodd takes it over the goal line for the touchdown, and Florida takes the 63 lead. Late in the third quarter, and in charges Pearson, and watch Hoover come up from the secondary and jar that ball loose from Adrian Coley. Dodd promptly dives on it for the gate. This gives the Gators a chance for that big play, with Dodd finding sophomore fullback Jim O'Donnell all alone the left sideline. O'Donnell makes the fine catch and rambles in for the TD. It's a conference victory, 14-3, and the Gators are still undefeated. In Houston, Texas, the Gators take on the Rice Owls of the well-regarded Southwest Conference. Here's Infante on the pitch out from Libator. Infante gets a good corner block from Goodman and races for 30 yards on the second play of the game, going to the Rice 48. Now Larry Libator keeps around left in for 8 yards and a Florida first down. This time it's the draw play working for 13 yards with Bob Hoover on the carrying end. Now it's 1st and 10 at the Rice 26 when Infante hits over right tackle and goes for 9 more yards. Rice's defenses tighten, and a driving, diving Infante gets only 3. And on 4th and 3, Billy Cash rings up a 24-yard field goal, and the Gators take a 3-0 lead in the first period. Florida played a fine defensive game against the Owls. Here's Gator captain Jim Beaver deflecting a Billy Cox pass. Now it's Rice's turn, and quarterback Randy Kerbo passes complete to Gary Pogue for a gain of 13 yards. The Owls climax the drive as they go ahead with Roland Jackson diving over left tackle for the final yard. Here's an explosive Don Goodman, the Gator fullback, in a run for 12 yards late in the second period, and Don's almost away. The quarterback in major college football today throws to Hoover for a gain of 23 yards. Driving in for 1 yard and a big 6 points is Lindy Infante, and Florida goes ahead 10-9 after successful conversion by Cash. Battling back against a determined Gator team, the Owls win it, however, 19-10. A rugged defensive contest marked the Florida-Vanderbilt game, and in this first play, we'll see good movement by Insminger, who throws Tom Gordon for a 1-yard loss. Quarterback Hank Lassane fumbles from hit by Larry Travis and Bruce Culpepper. In, Tom Kelly grabs the ball for the Gators. A standout all season long, Gator fullback Don Goodman is at his best in the Vanderbilt game. He carries for a gain of 11. It's Goodman again, and this fine Florida Gator picks up another 10 yards over the middle. Now Goodman heads right, cuts back over the middle for 12 more yards to the Vandy 44. You guessed it, it's Goodman again. He seems to be stopped at the line, but rolls off and heads around left end for additional yards. Lindy Infante gets into the act, and Lindy goes for a gain of 15 yards before being down by halfback Ed Creon Tom Gordon. Sophomore fullback Jim O'Donnell spells Goodman and speeds on for 7 to the Vandy 8. However, a field goal attempt 4 plays later fails. Now the Gators are on the march again in the second period, and Goodman picks up 11. Say, this man Goodman is a sure bet in this ball game. Here he goes for an additional 5 yards. The Gators are heading goalward, and in Tom Smith makes a determined effort to outbid 3 defenders to the ball. This pass from Larry Libator is good for 38 yards. Now little Larry Libator zeroes in on Lindy Infante in the end zone, and it's a touchdown for the Fighting Gators. Leading 7-0, the Gators stop a serious threat by Vanderbilt late in the game when center Bruce Culpepper intercepts Hank Lassane's pass. The Gators win it by the 1-touchdown margin. It's homecoming for the Gators when nationally ranked LSU invades Gainesville, and some 44,000 fans saw for themselves that the Tigers truly earned their national rating. Here, Jerry Stovall gets off a 63-yard punt that rolls dead on the Florida 6. Lindy Infante skirts around right end for 6 big yards and a Florida first down. Halfback Sam Mack shows plenty of determination as he drives hard for 9 yards up to the Florida 42. One of the day's big gainers for the Gators was this 18-yard run by Lindy Infante. This one is worth remembering by Larry Libator, even though the Gators were guilty of a rules infraction on the play. Now it's mighty LSU on the move as the first quarter ends in a 0-0 deadline. Fullback Earl Groh rambles for 20 yards to the LSU 44. Halfback Ray Wilkins gets the call and comes through with this 33-yard beauty, aiding the visiting Tigers to a 7-0 lead following the conversion by Wendell Harris. It was in the LSU game in the final period when Tom Batten showed everyone that he's a skilled passer for the Gators. Batten connects with junior end Sam Holland on this one for 10 yards. Now it's Batten to halfback Ron Stoner, pass completion gaining 6 yards. Batten continued strong, and now he throws to sophomore end Russ Brown for a gain of 16. Still another connection for Tom Batten. This time he hit senior Tom Smith for the second consecutive first down play. This one good for 11. But Smith is the target again. Another pass. This one good for 9. Conference record 184 yards were assessed in penalties against LSU in this game, several of them on pass interference calls, such as this one in the final period with Russ Brown as Batten's intended receiver. Up in Atlanta, the Yellow Jackets are virtually unbeatable. Here in the first period, the Fighting Gators make a determined effort. Larry Libator connects on a pass to Lindy Infante to the 50-yard line. Now Libator passes to Sam Holland for 15 to the Tech 34 before the Tech defenses halt beyond Georgian Gate. Hard-nosed defensive play coming up by Florida. Chick Granning finds Florida's Lindy Infante a solid defender as the first quarter nears the end. Watch Lindy put on a bone-racking tackle. But Tech isn't to be denied. Mike McNames appears to have scored on this play, but the ball is blown dead on the one. Talented Billy Lothridge was stopped dead on the next play up the middle. But Lothridge gets the call again, and this time he's in for the score. Trailed by 13 points, the Gators call on Jim O'Donnell, and the sophomore fullback makes a good gain of 8 yards. Here's Batten again, trying to pull the game out of the fire, and he connects with sophomore halfback Haygood Clark for a 9-yard gain. Batten rolls out and fires to end Russ Brown for 14 yards down to the Tech 40. Same combination coming up. Batten to Brown. This time the sophomore end for Miami moves down to Tech's 21. The man in motion, Bruce Starling, is on the receiving end for a gain of 6 yards. Batten doing the pitching. Batten becomes a runner here as he rolls out to his left as if to pass, and then picks up 9 yards. Now Tech's Tom Winninger pulls off a great defensive play. Winninger comes from out of nowhere to bat down Batten's pass in the end zone. Tackle Dick Jones is an eligible receiver here. Batten throws to Jones, but Tech's Billy Williamson bats it up. The ball hits Jones, and Williamson finally gets it. One of the season's most thrilling football games was played between Georgia and Florida in the Gator Bowl. Tom Batten won Back of the Week honors in the SEC for his great play in this contest. Here's Batten passing to Haygood Clark in the first quarter. Batten completes this one to Bruce Starling, fleet halfback from Ocala. Aim is for 12 yards to the Georgia 43. Georgia gets the ball for one play before Tom Kelly pounces on a fumble for the Gators at the Georgia 16, setting up the first Florida score. Accurate Tom Batten lets fly to Lindy Infante, the superlative Miami halfback, and Lindy is in for the first TD. Georgia's Jake Say punts, and Infante calls for a fair catch at the Georgia 48, and the Gators are on the move again. In his second scoring strike of the day, Batten passes to Jacksonville's Bob Hoover, and this touchdown play covers 48 yards with less than 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Larry Rakestraw, Georgia sophomore of great promise, is trying desperately to score for Georgia in the final play of the half. The halfback Walt Hickenlooper at the left comes up with a big interception for the Gators. Rakestraw gets the Bulldogs underway early in the second half, although slowed down momentarily with this bobble. This time he does it. Rakestraw connects with John Landry at the 20, and Landry runs it over for the first Bulldog score. The Bulldogs are growling again as fullback Bill Godfrey rambles for 20 yards up to the Georgia 40. Larry Rakestraw back to pass. He fires to Mickey Babb, and the play carries to the Florida 36. Now Rakestraw passes complete, this time to Carlton Guthrie, moving the ball to the 21-yard line. Jacksonville's Bill McKinney skirts right in for 7 yards, down to the Florida 10. It's McKinney again. This time he moves 9 yards down to the Florida 1-yard line. Quarterback Rakestraw vaults over for the remaining yard and a touchdown. Chills went up the spines of partisan Gator Rooters as Durwood Pennington makes the extra point good to put the Bulldogs in the lead, 14-13. Here's Florida's Batten again. Tom Batten rolls out to his right, connects with Bob Hoover at the Florida 40, and Hoover moves on down to the Georgia 39. Batten rolls to his right. Sam Holland is the target. Holland takes in the pass, good for 30 yards, with a Georgia defender hanging on to his shoulder. Ron Stoner goes in motion off to the left. Batten has his third touchdown pass of the game with this connection to Stoner. After losing 5 yards on an offsides penalty, the Gators go for 2. Tom Batten throws to Brown, who makes a sensational catch to end the day's scoring, and Florida wins a brilliant SEC contest 21-14. Up at Cliff Air Stadium, the Gators were to find themselves in trouble early after Billy Wilson recovered a fumble deep in Florida territory. Now quarterback Bobby Hunt goes in for the game's first score. Auburn has the ball again, but the defense stands up. Here's Captain Jim Beaver stopping Burson. Auburn goes into punt formation. Bo Davis gets the boot away. A good high spiral down to the Florida 20-yard line. Clark takes it in at the 20, steps to his right, starts to go left, then circles right behind. Good blocking. Clark gets a booming block from Dick Jones. Streaking down the sideline, he fakes the final defender out, and he's on his way to a brilliant 84-yard touchdown run for the Gators. The Gators make it a tie ball game at 8-8 with this two-point conversion pass from Tom Batten to end Russ Brown. The Gators are on the offensive again. And here's Infatti on the halfback draw play. Infatti's away down the right sideline for a gain of 50 yards, all the way to the Auburn 28. Bob Hoover takes the pitch out from Batten and gains 10 yards to the Auburn 18. Batten calls the halfback draw play again. Hoover takes the handoff and rushes down to the Auburn 10. Now Infatti goes in for the flying TD, and a cash conversion puts Florida ahead 15-8. Now get ready for one of the most unusual plays of the season. Quarterback Libator is set wide to the left, and he's the receiver on a pass from halfback Haygood Clark. But Auburn came back to win it in the second half. Florida and Miami met at Florida Field in the traditional interstate struggle and fought bitterly for the entire game. The Gators were the first to score following this recovered fumble of Don Ringo's punt to John Bayan by center Eddie Dime. On 4th down and 7 at the Miami 22, Bobby Dodd is holding for an apparent field goal. But it's a fake. Dodd swings and fires to Lindy Infatti for an 18-yard gain to the 4. Don Goodman blasts over for the Gators, and they lead 6-0. However, Miami makes a quick comeback. Bruce Culpepper kicks off for the Gators, and the kickoff is taken at the 7 by John Bayan, the man who had just fumbled. Bayan sets out to his left, gets one block that sets him free up the sideline, and Bayan is away and running for a 93-yard touchdown. Wilson kicks off for Miami, and Coach Ray Graves' Gators have their imagination up again as Clark takes in the kickoff, stops, passes over to his left to Lindy Infatti. Infatti takes the pass at the Florida 29, and Infatti picks up 15 more yards. Here's little Larry Libator and a keeper around left end for a gain of 10. Livator is the man again. This time he keeps for 18 yards to the Miami 30. Little Larry tries the left side and gains 10, but the Florida effort ends here when a field goal was missed. George Mara, the superlative sophomore star for the Hurricanes, finds his favorite target, All-American end Bill Miller, on this pass play. Dodd and Clark get a shot at him, but the hard-running Miller heads on down the sidelines for a 40-yard gain before being knocked out of bounds by White. One of the great plays of the football season was this pass from Mara to Nick Spinelli. Running to his left, the right-handed Mara instinctively shifts the ball to his left hand and lobs for the touchdown to put the Hurricanes in the lead. Battling Florida Gator team fights down the wire. And here, Batten completes a 16-yard pass play to end Tom Smith. Some more of this can be expected next season. Batten fires to the great sophomore end Russ Brown, and the play covers 16 yards deep in Miami territory. Again, Tom Batten fires to Russ Brown on a 29-yard beauty. And the 1961 season is written into the record book.